They say trust is the foundation of every relationship. I used to believe that. I used to think love was enough. That if you truly loved someone they would never lie to you. But the night I found out the truth I learned something much harder. Love doesn't stop people from lying. It just makes the lies hurt more. David and I had been married for 4 years. We were that couple everyone admired. The ones who looked perfect on social media. He worked as a marketing manager, smart, funny, charming. Everything a woman could ask for. When he got promoted he started working longer hours. He'd say, "Honey, I'll be late tonight, big project deadline." And I'd smile and say, "Don't worry, I'll keep dinner warm." At first I was proud of him. But slowly something started to change. He stopped talking to me like he used to. His laughter faded. His hugs felt shorter, colder, like they were just part of his daily routine. And then came the phone. His phone used to sit on the table while we watched TV. Now it was always in his pocket, even when he went to the bathroom. When I asked why, he just said, "Work's been crazy, you wouldn't understand." And I believed him. One Friday night I decided to do something sweet. He said he was working late again, so I made his favorite dinner, creamy pasta and garlic bread. I thought maybe I could surprise him at the office. When I called his office line, a woman answered. She said, "Oh, David just left about 10 minutes ago." My heart skipped a beat. I asked, "Are you sure?" He said he'd be working late tonight. She hesitated, then said softly, "Yeah, I'm sure." He clocked out already. That night when David came home at 11:30 p.m. I asked how work was. He sighed and said, "Exhausting, I just finished the presentation." I smiled, pretending to believe him. But inside I felt something break. That was the moment the doubt started to grow. The following weeks were strange. He started showering as soon as he got home. He'd hide his clothes in the laundry before I could touch them. He kept his phone on silent. Face down. One night I woke up at 2 a.m. and saw him texting in the dark. When I asked who it was, he said, "Just work stuff, go back to sleep." But the way he jumped, the way his eyes widened, it didn't feel like work. I remember lying awake that night, staring at the ceiling thinking, am I crazy? Or is this how betrayal begins? Quietly, in the spaces between words. 2 weeks later he told me he had to stay at the office late again. He kissed my forehead, grabbed his laptop and said, "Don't wait up." Something in his tone felt rehearsed, like a line he'd practiced. By 1:45 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at the clock, refreshing his last scene on WhatsApp. It hadn't changed in hours. Then I remembered we had a location tracker, a safety app we installed years ago. When I opened it, my blood ran cold. He wasn't at the office. He wasn't anywhere near it. He was at a hotel across town. For a few seconds I just sat there, frozen. My heart was racing so fast I could barely breathe. Then I grabbed my car keys and drove. It was freezing outside, but I didn't feel it. All I could hear was my heartbeat, pounding in my ears. When I reached the hotel, his car was parked right out front. I walked to the reception, trying to keep my voice steady. "Hi," I said, forcing a smile. "I'm his sister. I think my brother David forgot his wallet here." The woman smiled politely and said, "Room 214. Room 214. That number will never leave my mind." I took the elevator up, each floor heavier than the last. When I stood outside the door, I almost turned around. I thought maybe I don't want to know. But deep down I already did. I knocked once. No answer. Twice. And then, the door opened. A woman stood there. Young, maybe mid-20s, wearing his company badge and his shirt. Behind her, I saw his laptop on the table, 2 glasses of wine, and him, frozen, pale, speechless. I looked at him straight in the eyes and said quietly, "You said you were working late." He opened his mouth, but no words came out. I turned around and walked away. No yelling. No tears. Just silence. I drove home in complete silence. When he came back around 4 a.m. I was sitting at the kitchen table. His laptop was open in front of me. He'd left it unlocked. Dozens of emails, hotel receipts, and messages. Pictures of them together. Proof of every lie he'd ever told me. He tried to speak. He said, "It didn't mean anything." But when someone cheats, it's never just physical. It's emotional. It's intentional. It's the choice to hurt the person who loves you most. I didn't argue. I just said, "You didn't lose me tonight, David. You threw me away." The next morning I packed my bags. No screaming, no drama. I was done with tears. I left him the pictures and a note on the bed. Then I walked out, closed the door, and never looked back. In the weeks that followed, he called, texted, begged me to come back. But every time my phone lit up with his name, I remembered that hotel room. That shirt. That lie. You can forgive many things in life. But you can't rebuild trust once it's burned to ashes. It's been a year since that night. I've started over. New city, new job, new peace. And sometimes when I see couples at restaurants laughing, holding hands, I wonder if they truly know each other, or if one of them is already pretending. But I don't live in fear anymore. Because that night at 2 a.m. when I found the truth, I also found myself. If you've ever been lied to, remember this. You didn't fail. You were honest in a world that sometimes rewards dishonesty. And that's something to be proud of. Would you have walked away like I did? Tell me in the comments. And if you believe honesty still matters, like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories.